Alrighty, let's get started. Open these up. I still have to oil this one up here, so cover your ears. Alright, so hopefully we're going to accomplish a few things in this video. We're going to go over how I plan on routing some of the battery wires or cables in the boxes from one box to the other and over to the solar box. Second thing we're going to do is measure from the bottom of this battery box down to the ground down there, because I want to put in the cells in there to see if there's either a sag or a bow, to see if there's any reinforcing that I might have to do, before I set all this up. Alright, so we're going to take a quick measurement here as best as we can. Alright, I'm kind of laying on the ground. Actually, it's real close to 9 13/16, so that's what we're going to go with. It's kind of like dead on. So we're going to check the sag of this and see if it sags any. So I don't only have to go in at an angle like that. I can just go in like this. There's plenty of room to do that. I don't think it moved at all. Damn, I think we're good. If it moved like a 64th or a 32nd, like barely anything. So I think we're good. I think we're okay. All right, before we put the other batteries up here on this shelf, I did get a couple of comments asking about this distance right in between here and if there's enough room to do wrenches and all that kind of stuff so I can put on bus bars and tighten the studs and bolts and all that kind of stuff. Yes, there's just enough room for me to stick a wrench in here and short everything out. Yes, there is enough room, and that was the main reason why I had this open right here. So I can come in from the side for the wrench, and I can go in on top with my Allen wrench to hold the stud. So yes, there is enough room in here for me to access the batteries. All right, so we're good on it not bending or anything like there. We'll go ahead and throw the other set of cells on here. Boom, boom, there we go. That's gonna look damn good. Or at least I think so. All right, I am not going to be throwing these cells in here quite yet because I want to drill holes, and I'm going to have to pull those right back out to drill those holes. But I could give you a quick rundown of how the wiring is going to go. So this battery right here is probably going to be my most positive for this battery box down here. And over here, we're going to do our series connection. And this battery right here is going to be my most negative cell. All right, and then probably right back here is where I'm thinking I'm gonna put this fuse. And then from the fuse, we can kind of cut off over a little bit and then go up into this battery box right here. Now there is one other thing that was mentioned in, I think, the plan video, is somebody mentioned I should have a shutoff for each box, which I think is a great idea. My only problem right now is I'm not finding a small enough yet big enough circuit breaker that I can put in here. And if I do put one in here, it'll be right over here on the side, which may interfere with my fuse unless I can put the fuse down there. Well, okay, we're gonna put the circuit breaker on hold unless I find something good enough that I can put in here. If I do put it in there, it's gonna go right here on the side so we can get access to it. All right, wires go up through the conduit right here and we go up into the next set of batteries. For this box, what I'm thinking is so I can get equal battery cable lengths over to the solar combiner box, which I'm probably gonna put my battery parallel connection over there as well. I think I'm gonna put the battery positive on this side. We're gonna go through the cells over here, we'll series up to this cell up here, and then go over to this side, which will be the negative up top. And then I think I'll put the fuse possibly somewhere up here. That way we can attempt to draw equally from the battery packs. My next thing is, since I'm going to put the conduit right over here, I think this is a pretty good location. That way it leaves open the unistrut and this washer here, or if I need to add or remove something later on, I can still get access to that. Which brings me to my next little thing here, is these studs right here. Not that they're 100% in the way or anything like that with the location of the conduit that's going to go here. In a previous video, whenever I put all these up here, I thought we might want to change these washers sometime in the future for something a little bit stronger. Andrew, one of my Patreon members, said maybe you could use one of these square unistrut washers, which I think is a pretty good idea. I know you can't tell from, the camera angle or anything like that, but it doesn't quite line up, obviously, because the post is in there but the hole doesn't line up with the bolt. So I think in order for me to fit this in here, I would have to grind down, you know, 2 of the sides, which I'm fine with. That's if we actually end up doing that. But the minimum I want to do is cut off these studs. So I think that's what we'll do here. And there was one other thing about these studs right over here, which you guys just saw, the ones that I'm going to cut off, that these might be grounding studs, which they are, but that's if you mount that panel in here to mount other crap on. There is a grounding stud here on the door and right over here, which I will be using. So basically all we're going to do is put a wire from here to there, and then from there we'll route it to wherever we end up going to ground the whole system. Alright, so I think what we're going to do next is start cutting these studs off, which is probably going to make a god-awful noise. Good thing that Lauren's not here. I guess we could technically start with the top one to see how well that goes. And if it goes well, I won't have to remove these boxes and take them outside to cut them. So let's get to it. Here we go. I don't have many teeth left on that. I'm going to try a wood blade. See how quickly it gets destroyed. I only have 1 stud left. Yay! The wood blade finished it off. Nice. Alrighty, there we go. Got all 8 cut off. They all pretty much look like that. The reason I didn't go down any lower than that, because that's all weld and that just completely destroys the blade, which I did do on one of them, so I had to use one of the wood blades to finish off the last. So yeah, there we go. All those are cut off. Alright, well I was re-looking at adding the big washer on there, and I would have to grind quite a bit to get that to fit in there. So I think I'm going to pass on this for right now. But again, if you guys really think I need to add a really thick washer like this, you know, for support, I'll do it. But at this current moment, I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, I just wanted to show that to you while I was here. All right. Next thing I think we're going to do is start drilling some holes for the conduit. Here, so let me mark this as best as I can. Alrighty, we got her marked. Don't worry about that outer line. I tried going across this bottom, but it's not, you know, perfectly round because of threads. Anyway, got her marked, and then once this one's cut out, we'll mark the box right below it. And I got these guys. We're gonna need that too. Alright, so to cut the holes, I bought this Lennox hole saw kit. It's a 13-piece plumber's and electrician hole saw kit. The reason I got this kit is I would imagine a bunch of electricians use it and cut holes in those metal boxes all the time. So I figured this would be good enough. Alright, so we need to cut a hole that size. And bigger. So our next size up is, well, 2 inches. That seems huge. Alright, so we're going to go with a 51 millimeter or 2 inch for this. It would be great if there was like 1 7/8, but we don't have that. So that's what we're going with. About to destroy a box? Yeah. Alright, hole number 1 done. Those chips are gonna burn my arm. I know it. Alright, now we got a hole in each box, so we're looking pretty darn good there. Alright, so I threw the cells in there real quick and threw in those fittings, and we're going to kind of figure out some of the cable management, and I'm just going to use some of this pink string that Lauren got me a really long time ago. I'm basically going to drop it down through the fittings over here and figure out the best route. Either start from this side or start from that side. Trying to get equal lengths of cables so both battery boxes draw equally. That's pretty much the goal of this.
String down this one. Alright, so here's what I was doing to try to figure out my battery cable lengths. Is I'm just using that piece of string and routing it in a rough, location of where I want to go. And I was thinking I was going to put the fuse right back there if I go this route, and then I'm going up there.
And then I just kind of grabbed the string over here and drug it over to, roughly right here.
The other one, I started with the post right here, went up and possibly adding the fuse right back there. But again, keep in mind, if I add a circuit breaker, it's going to be on this wall right here. And it could be a little tight back there. I'm actually kind of leaning towards putting the positive over there because it allows me to put the fuse right back there and it's easily accessible. Not that I plan on changing fuses very often, but it would be kind of nice to have it readily accessible. All right, and then we will measure the length of this one, 62 inches. And then the second mark is 81 inches. So we have 62 and 81. And we're basically going to do the same thing with this top box here. And since I don't have, cells in here, I just kind of have to make it up. Oh, there's a mark here. All right, and then mark it. And measure. This one is a little bit longer. It says 88. That's real close to the other one, which was what, 81? All right, so I think we figured out exactly how we're gonna do this. Keep in mind, I'm probably gonna be coming out of this upper box, right over here, all right? So basically what we found out is I am going to put the positive over here on this bottom corner. We're gonna go up, over, and then through a fuse, which we'll have to find the location for here in just a minute. Go over here, go through the fittings, and then over through this conduit and up over to that box. And then this one kind of stayed the same, but instead of going straight over, obviously we moved the wiring down and we're going to come out over there. This one did measure roughly 88 and this one was 81. However, that was just kind of like a rough estimate. So I think if we do go this route, I can make each wire exactly the same length. Alrighty, I think we're going to go ahead and figure out the fuse location and drill the holes and tap it. And I kind of like this spot right over here. I just got to make sure I can get a drill in here. Oof, that's going to be a little tricky. We'll give it a try anyway. Alright, I'm going to go with this spot right here and call it a day. Alrighty, there we go. Drilled the holes, tapped the threads, and now we got the fuse mounted inside the box. Nice. All right, let's do the other one. All right, 5 quarters. Boom! Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's gonna look real good. Once again, we'll throw the cells in here. Yep, it's gonna look good. All right, so if we go off the positive right there, and we go up around the cell, have a nice little curve right into the fuse right there, and then we continue the wire over here, make a nice little curve up into the conduit going up into the other box. All right, that's gonna look good. And then we'll probably have a hole, roughly right here, which will lead over to the other box that's gonna go on the wall.
All right, and that's pretty much going to be the same thing for this set of batteries up here. You know what? Maybe we should throw those batteries in here too. I'll go grab them. But they are all still in parallel, so I need to disconnect all this stuff real quick. Boom. All right, there we go. We have all 32 cells in the boxes, and guess what? The rails are still on the wall. So that's a good thing. All right, so we are looking real good, if I must say so myself. All right, so having said that, I might have drilled the hole just a little too far over, and we're gonna run into my little compression plates right here. I guess just kind of thinking about it real quick, the least I could do on these is probably just grind out a little bit on the bottom down there, because it's just that little tiny spot from the locking ring or whatever. So I think that'll be okay. But yeah, we're looking real good. The fuses look like they're in a perfect place. Alrighty, I'm getting real excited, you guys, not gonna lie. Real excited. Alrighty, there you guys go. We have accomplished a few more steps in this episode. So we got all 32 cells, 16 of course in each battery box. We got the holes drilled for the conduit that's gonna connect this box to this box. We figured out some of the wire routing, and then we also mounted the fuses to the back wall. I think we accomplished quite a bit today. Of course, with video editing, it probably didn't take very long at all. And as far as I can tell at this moment, we've only run into one little snag with drilling the hole right over here. We're kind of over just a little bit too far, and we're gonna run into our little compression plate that really isn't gonna be compressing the cells, it's just gonna be holding them there. But I think that'll be an easy fix. I think all we're gonna have to do is just notch out a little bit on this bottom side right over here. So no big deal. And we of course accomplished one other thing with having all batteries mounted on the wall, is the rails are still on the wall and it didn't come toppling over. So that's a thumbs up in my book. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys think I missed something, or if there's something you suggest, like circuit breakers, for the side of the boxes, I'm still having trouble finding some of those. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I don't want to waste any more of your time. As always, guys, I love to hear your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Don't forget to like that smash button, and I'll see you on the next one. This drill bit is bent. So it's making everything wobble. I gotta change that real quick. Is it? Yeah. Let me start this over again. Yeah. Hi. What are you doing? Hmm? What are you doing over there, buddy? Come on over. Uh-oh, they're coming for you. Stop for a quick snack. What are you eating? Oh, yum. Grass. Eat the kale. You love kale. Here.